It's a scene many of us have lived through more times than we'd like to admit. You're in the middle of a high-stakes conversation, perhaps an argument with a partner, a performance review, or a moment of rare, raw vulnerability. You have your points ready. You know exactly what you want to say. But then, the physical shift begins. Your throat feels like it's closing up. A heavy, suffocating weight settles in your chest. Your vision blurs as a familiar heat rises behind your eyes. Before you can finish your sentence, the tears arrive. They aren't invited, and they certainly aren't convenient. In that moment, your body has bypassed your intellect. Your biology has arrived at the finish line while your words are still at the starting blocks. Almost immediately, the second wave hits. Shame. You look at the floor. You wipe your cheeks aggressively. You mutter an apology. I'm sorry. I don't even know why I'm doing this. We apologize as if our tears are an intrusion, an embarrassing glitch in the system that has interrupted real communication. For decades, society has whispered or shouted that crying easily is a defect. We are told we are too sensitive, too emotional, or unstable. We learn to brace our souls, to swallow the lump in our throats, and to maintain a steady mask while our internal world is trembling. But there is a fundamental truth that often goes unspoken. Tears are not a sign of a broken spirit. They are a sign of a saturated one. This isn't about learning to suppress your tears, it's about understanding why. For some of us, crying is the body's most honest dialect, spoken long before the mind can find the right words. To understand crying, we have to look past the feeling and look at the machinery. We often mistake crying for an emotion like sadness or grief. In reality, crying is a neurological response. It is what happens when your nervous system reaches its maximum capacity, its threshold. Your body is an incredibly sophisticated surveillance system. It is constantly scanning your environment for safety or threat. Long before you have a conscious thought about a situation, your nervous system has already decided whether to mobilize energy, fight or flight, or collapse energy, freeze. When you are under stress, your system stays on. You hold it together. You navigate the crisis. You finish the workday. You support everyone else. You are the pillar of strength because your system believes you are still in the danger zone. But the moment you step into your car, close the bathroom door, or feel a hand on your shoulder, the danger signal shuts off. This is the shift into delayed safety. Your body finally believes it is safe enough to soften. The energy you've been using to hold it together has to go somewhere. For many, that discharge of energy manifests as tears. If you are someone who cries easily, it doesn't mean you are failing to cope. It means your release valve is highly responsive. Your system is exceptionally efficient at completing the stress cycle so it can return to balance. As a biological process, crying is far more intentional than we realize. Not all tears are created equal. In fact, your body produces 3 distinct varieties, each with a specific job description. 1. Basal tears. These are the workers. They are in your eyes right now, acting as a constant shield. They lubricate the cornea and flush away debris. They are the background noise of ocular health. 2. Reflex tears. These are the first responders. When you chop an onion or walk into a cloud of smoke, your eyes flood. This is a mechanical protective reaction designed to dilute and wash away irritants. 3. Emotional tears. These are the most mysterious. Under a microscope, emotional tears are chemically distinct from basal or reflex tears. They contain significantly higher concentrations of ACTH, a hormone linked to stress, and leucine enkephalin, a natural painkiller. When you cry from an emotional place, your body is literally performing a chemical detox. You are leaking stress hormones. This is why we often feel a strange, hollowed-out sense of peace after a heavy crying spell. Even if the external problem hasn't changed, your internal chemistry has. The pressure has been vented. Your body has used tears to say what your vocabulary couldn't. This matters, and I need to process it. Why do some people seem like emotional sponges, while others appear unaffected? It often comes down to the thickness of our internal filters. Most people move through life with a relatively thick filter. Their brains automatically tune out the white noise of the world, the subtle tension in a room, the slight shift in a friend's tone, or the hum of the air conditioner. Only the loudest, most direct signals get through. But for the sensitive individual, that filter is thin. You don't just see a friend, you feel their unstated anxiety. You don't just walk into a crowded office, you absorb the frantic energy of the space. This is not a choice or drama, it is depth of processing. A sensitive nervous system doesn't just skim the surface of life, it drinks it in. But absorption has a price. By the time 6 p.m. rolls around, you aren't crying because of one bad email. You are crying because of the cumulative weight of everything you absorbed during the day. Your tears are the body's way of clearing out the emotional clutter that never had a chance to leave. Have you ever cried while watching a stranger's joy or felt a sharp pang in your chest when a friend describes their heartbreak? This is the work of mirror neurons. This network in the brain allows us to simulate the experiences of others. When you see someone in pain, your brain fires the same neurons it would if you were the one hurting. For those with a highly responsive system, this mirroring is turned up to maximum volume. You don't just have sympathy, you have affective empathy. The emotion passes through your actual physiology. This is often called emotional contagion. You are literally catching the feelings of those around you. When these absorbed emotions have no outlet, they exit through your eyes. In these moments, your tears aren't about your own story. They are a release of the load you've been carrying on behalf of the world. It is a way of saying, I felt that, and now I must let it go. The hardest part of crying isn't the physical act. It's the moral judgment we attach to it. We ask ourselves, why am I like this? As if this is a crime. Shame is a learned behavior. Most people who cry easily weren't taught that their internal signals were valid. Instead, they were taught that their tears were inconvenient or manipulative. You learned to hide in cars, to muffle your sobs into pillows, and to apologize for having a nervous system. This often tracks back to our attachment styles. Anxious attachment. If you grew up in an environment where you only received attention or care when your distress was visible, your nervous system learned that tears are a vital bridge to connection. Avoidant attachment. If your emotions were met with coldness or dismissal, you likely learned to build a dam. You might go months without a single tear until one tiny, insignificant event, like dropping a glass, causes the entire dam to burst. Emotional neglect. If your feelings weren't necessarily punished but were simply never mirrored or validated, you might find your tears confusing and uncontrollable. You have the emotion, but you were never taught how to regulate the volume knob. We cannot ignore the biological and cultural divide. On a physiological level, hormones play a massive role. The hormone prolactin, which is higher in women, is a major component of tear production. Conversely, testosterone can actually act as a chemical inhibitor to crying. For many, the threshold for tears is lower simply because of the chemical soup they live in. But culture writes the rest of the script. Men, in particular, are often conditioned to lock down the release valve. From a young age, they are told that tears are the opposite of strength. But sadness and stress don't just vanish because they aren't cried out. They are rerouted. They turn into irritability, chronic fatigue, or physical tension. Allowing yourself to cry is not a surrender. It is an act of biological maintenance. It is giving your body permission to do exactly what it was evolved to do: recover. Crying is healing when it completes a cycle. You cry, the pressure drops, and you feel a sense of grounding. That is regulation. However, sometimes crying happens constantly and provides no relief. This isn't a sign that you cry too much, but rather a sign that your environment is overwhelming your capacity to heal. If you are in a state of chronic stress, your tears are like a warning light on a car's dashboard. You don't fix the warning light by smashing it. You look under the hood. The tears are telling you that you need more support, more rest, stronger boundaries, or a change in your surroundings. They aren't the problem, they are the messenger. If there is one thing to take away, it is this: you are not a crier. You are a person with a nervous system that is paying attention. Your tears are data. They tell you when something is beautiful, when something is unfair, and when you have reached your limit. When you stop fighting the tears, they lose their power to humiliate you. They become a tool for honesty. You don't need to toughen up to be a functional adult. You need to become an expert on the system that carries you through the world. When you allow the tears to move without the weight of shame, they pass much faster, and what's left behind is clarity. If these insights into the quiet patterns of human behavior resonate with you, consider subscribing. We dive deep into the things we all feel but rarely have the words for. And I'd love to hear from you. How has your relationship with crying changed over the years? Your story belongs here.